Let me explain. I have fallen down many times. I have made many mistakes.
Okay.
Hey, when I'm facing troubles or hard times in business, this pops in my mind. And so for sure, I can either walk away from a business and a failure, or I can absolutely succeed.
Thank you so much for being on this show. And this is the first episode of The Thin Line.
It is my honor.
Thank you so much. So, Michael, you have been in business for the last 5 decades. Like, this is something, when we are starting business, when people are in the first year, second year, we face challenges. And this is the time when we say, oh my God, how am I going to overcome this challenge? How are things going to work out? You have done this for 5 decades. My first question would be, how do you define failure?
I've had an opportunity to have, and it's an opportunity to have some great success and multiple failures. But all of it has been a learning experience. And for me, failure is just when you ultimately give up. Many times, in particular, I'm a tech entrepreneur. So my focus has always been in technology. And many cases, you're working on technologies that are future technologies. So I'm usually ahead of the curve, and it becomes very easy to give up, and becomes very easy to ultimately have a failure. But for me, I learned at a very young age how to sustain myself mentally and never give up. So for me, failure is just really ultimately when you give up.
That's a fantastic, phrase that I would like to pick up and maybe write it down somewhere and keep it in front of me. That failure is something when you give up.
It becomes easy to have a preconceived notion of how business is going to work and how it's going to succeed. It rarely ends up being the way you envisioned it in the beginning. How the business takes off, what markets you dream of going for. So you have to be flexible. And you're continuously running into a dead end. You always have to continue to look for another angle to support the business.
Connected to failure, there's another thing which comes to our mind is the fear of failure. Sometimes we fear failure so much that it almost paralyzes us. We can't move ahead. We get stuck with it. And then it's like whatever we try to do, we can't think out of the box. To pull out a cliche. Has there been areas where you have had this fear of failure affecting you?
Yeah, I mean, you always have this fear. I think when you're an entrepreneur and you're starting businesses, you live with this fear. And fear is what keeps you alert. And you have to be alert because when you're starting businesses, you have many factors between clients, the environment, timing for product, price points for product. You have many different aspects. So fear is a fuel for you, actually. But for me, I started at a young age being an entrepreneur, and I had very good mentors when I was young. So, just my memory of working with my mentors really helped me, don't be afraid. You have to know that you're going to fall down, and you have to be prepared to fall down. I think that all businesses globally, all entrepreneurs will tell you, success is born out of failures. A series of failures. And for me, this has just been my mantra for a very long time. Obviously, if you're going to be an entrepreneur like I am for my whole life, you have to have courage. You have to have confidence. Even at times when the environment tells you, or your clients tell you, or even your own partners tell you, this cannot work. If you have a deep belief in it, you still have to stand up. And it takes courage to do that. So you have to listen to your inner self.
Yeah.
For me, I listen to my gut feel a lot. And despite what the environment tells me, if I believe in something, I will fight and fall down fall down and fight again. So this has just been my nature. You have to have the courage. Even you fake it until you make it. You have to psychologically work with yourself to overcome those barriers.
You started working at a very young age. How did you start working, and who were the people who influenced you in thinking like this in the entrepreneurial way at the very early stage of your career?
Yeah, I'm fortunate. I had two really important people that influenced my life at a very young age. Number one is my father. My father's an entrepreneur, and he's one of the original founders of part of the semiconductor industry. So he's a leading edge person, and not only was he involved in the development of semiconductors and manufacturing in semiconductors, he was also involved in other businesses that I watched him, have failures doing processes or building products. He'd get angry, and then he would go back and do it again, and kept doing things until he had a success. So he was a very big role model for me. Then the other role model is a gentleman that I went to work for when I was in high school, actually.
Oh, okay.
My father got me I wanted to get a car when I was 15 in US, and you can drive at 16. So I wanted to prepare myself to get my own car. Okay. And my father refused to help me. He said, if you want, you have to get a job and earn your way. Earn your way. So he got me a job at a very advanced design electronic company.
Okay.
And it was a business that he was close with. He knew the owner very well. And he had helped this owner through some litigation at some stage in their relationship. And this guy agreed to take me on, even though I was underage. I was 15 years old at the time. And he agreed to take me on and become a mentor for me, just because he wanted to repay my father.
Okay.
So he became a baseline as my first.
So was he nice to you?
Oh, he was very tough guy.
So you were 15 at that point of time when you started?
I was 15. It was in between my sophomore and junior year in high school.
I see. Okay.
And so I got a job, and they trained me how to do design of printed circuit boards and electronic design. And I was really fortunate. I caught on very easily. It was like a natural skill. And I caught on very easily. He continued to train me. Then, even before I was working there for 9 months, they already made me a lead person to train other people. Okay. So I was maybe 16 at the time.
You got into it.
And they were using me to train people in their companies. And they had companies in Boston, they had companies in Los Angeles, and they had companies in San Francisco. So I became a trainer at a very young age for people much older than me. So he had a big influence in, pushing me to kind of be a leader. At the same time, he taught me about the business. He taught me every job that we got, how to make money. He helped me calculate how the company made money. He taught me how to do customer service. He taught me, how to keep documentation for a business and do training modules. He was an incredible mentor for me. So he was my first real influence in business.
So you mentioned to me about you started after some time. Once you did your apprenticeship, you started on your own. And how was this dynamics with your former boss? When you started? It's a
incredible story for me, and really one of the great memories. But when I graduated from high school, the day I graduated from high school, I was working for this company during high school. But the day I graduated, the sales manager of this company and I got together, and we decided to start our own business.
Okay.
And he was much older than me at the time. I think I was 17 or 18, and he was 32 or 33. And but he knew I had the skill to run an operation, and he had the skill to bring clients. So we resigned from the company we were working for, and because this mentor had taken care of me so much, I was too scared to even tell him, too scared to even tell him that I was leaving and going into competition with him. So in any case, my partner and I left the company, and we were able to get enough money and use equipment in other companies in the industry to start our own business.
Yeah, okay.
And within a few months, we earned a lot of money. So we decided to build our own factory. So we built our first factory.
Okay.
And this was probably 9 months to a year after we left. And then we decided to have a grand opening. And for this factory we had set up. So we invited all of our clients, and many of the clients were clients of my previous company, my previous boss. And so I remember we were in the middle of the celebration, and we had glass windows looking out in the parking lot, and I see my ex-boss pulling into the car park. So I froze. I completely froze.
And he was uninvited.
And he wasn't invited. But he knew all the people that were there because they were his clients for many years.
Okay.
So in any case, he came in and he stayed during the cocktail reception. And, I completely avoided him. I was scared.
Obviously.
Of him. So at the end of the event, actually, I went into the restroom. And I thought he had left, and I thought everybody had left, but he followed me into the restroom. So he cornered me, and I was just completely frozen. I was completely frozen. And he said, he walked up to me and said, "Well, interesting how you have your own business here. I'm really disappointed. I'm super disappointed that, you left when I took care of you. I trained you. I taught you how to do business. And you didn't even have the guts to say goodbye when you left." And but at that point in time, I'm almost about to cry, But he went on to say, "Look, I'm not here to scold you. I'm here to tell you, congratulations. But I want you to know, I will only be very angry with you if you fail."
Wow.
And at that point in time, I couldn't help it. I had so much respect for him, and he really gave me the courage and taught me how to do business from a sustainability standpoint. That I owed him a gigantic debt of gratitude, and I felt that I knew I had disappointed him, but it's so profound to have him come up to me and tell me he will only be angry if I fail. That has been a hallmark for my whole career. So not only does it make me think about how magnanimous of a person he was, because I was in competition with him, but he genuinely cared. So he in my life, he's one of the most profound persons to influence me.
You have had several businesses where you built it up and sold off the businesses successfully. Was there a time where, or an incident that you remember, where you felt that this is the end? I'm at the edge of it, and if I don't get back from this situation, then things might just go downhill.
Yeah, I mean, I was really lucky in the beginning of my career.
Mm-hmm.
The first business I started in California, I sold within a year to my partner, the one I'm referring to.
Yeah.
Then I went to Hong Kong under the guidance of my father. I went to Hong Kong and one of his business friends and started a business like that in Hong Kong, which is a complete new environment coming from California. And there were times when I got scared. I was, fearful. But I was really always seemed to be at the right place at the right time. And met people. These people helped. I hired this guy who was selling Westinghouse refrigerators, I think.
Okay, how did you meet him?
I met him in a bar in Hong Kong.
Okay.
But he was selling Westinghouse refrigerators, and we got along very well. So I hired him to become my first employee in Hong Kong, and he helped me find customers, get factories, set up a factory, build a factory, and we started this business in Hong Kong. And after a 5-year period of time, one of my clients went bankrupt. They owed me a significant amount of money, and the Hong Kong Bank was the receiver for the company. So I went to Hong Kong Bank to see if I could find some way to get the money that they owed me. And at the time, it was a very substantial amount of money. And Hong Kong Bank said, no, the company's bankrupt. We're going to liquidate everything. And you are an unsecured creditor and you will get nothing.
Nothing. Oh, okay.
So that made me upset. The next day I went back to the banker and said, look, there must be some way for me to recover my money. And he said, actually, you're a client of Hong Kong Bank. I can see from your record. And to make a long story short, the bank sold me the business.
The business that you were supposed to get money back.
The bank that I was supposed to collect the money from. The gentleman at HSBC said, look, how about we do a deal? We'll sell you the business, and not only will they sell me the business, but they will finance me to buy the business.
Okay.
So it was an unbelievable, great fortune. And then I had a business that was a supporter of that business. And ultimately I went and sold it to the Westinghouse refrigerator employee. I sold the business to him, and put him in business so that I could take over this factory that was 10 times bigger than my business at the time.
Wow.
So that was the beginning of my career to step into high volume manufacturing in Hong Kong. But all of it was, I was really fortunate to be at the right place at the right time. Scary move, but in hindsight, the best move I ever made.
Was that kind of a thin line that you crossed in your mind at that point of time?
Yeah, I think, you mentioned thin line. For sure, this is part of the decision matrix for my whole career. Hey, when I'm facing troubles or hard times in business, this pops in my mind. And so for sure, I can either walk away from a business and a failure, or I can absolutely succeed. And it's just a decision in your mind. But for sure, it's a thin line for me.
How do I practice what you are saying? In real life, I see that we are struggling with, having doubts, having fears, uncertainty, especially if you're an entrepreneur. How do you actually practice this?
Well, I think first, let me explain. I have fallen down many times. I have made many, many mistakes.
Okay.
You don't go to school to learn how to do business, especially for me. My school is sitting at high school level.
Yeah.
So there's no guideline for falling down. So I have fallen down thousands of times, but I always stand up. The difference between success and failure is only those who stand up have the ability to ultimately succeed. But a lot of this is also driven by my personal practice of Buddhism. I practice Buddhism and have since 1984. And it's a fundamental balancing for my life. And I practice it every morning, every evening, and have since 1984. And every day I'm renewing my determinations to go and win. And so I take it very seriously, and it's been a hallmark for me. So I don't think of losing. I don't think of giving up because of that. All I do is renew my determination every day, and when you're doing that, it makes it much easier to have sustainability. With the early training I had from my father and my first boss, combined with the Buddhism that I practiced for all of these years, this has given me the spirit to never give up. And that's the foundation for it. And even when things negative happen, somehow they turn to positive. Somehow they turn to positive in my life. I've had circumstances where my factory was about to go bankrupt because we had one giant client that was the German government.
Okay.
And we had built a bunch of product for them and shipped it to them, and they rejected it. And there was a big payment that was supposed to come with it at a very big, important time. So they shipped the product back to my factory in Hong Kong, and I could see, yes, there was some defects, but nothing like what they had claimed. But I was out all of this money, and I needed to pay payroll.
Yeah.
Well, unbelievably, a few days later, there was a giant flood in the building I was in, and my storehouse in particular that was holding all of the goods from
from Germany
got completely flooded and completely destroyed. And now I thought, oh my goodness, what's going to happen? Now I have no chance of recovering the money. Well, my CFO contacted the insurance company because we had insurance on the factory. Luckily, they sent people in a few days later, and within a week, they paid us full amount for the goods that I never sold. And it wasn't a small amount of money; it was several $100,000. Yeah. And so we continue to look at ways to survive. In somehow we're at the right place at the right time. And I attribute a lot of that to my Buddhist practice.
Yeah. Wow. So what I'm hearing, Michael, is that you are making a choice every time of choosing determination over, giving up. You are making a choice every time, saying that, okay, I am going to go for it, take action. I don't care what's the results going to be. Of course, it affects you. But
I agree. And this is why, to me, this is, but it's a thin line because it's just a decision.
Yeah.
It's this way, it goes this way, and in this way it goes this way. So you have to make a decision. And the hardest part in life sometimes is making decisions. Many people don't, they grow up and it's hard for them to make decisions. They struggle with making decisions. But I've learned to make decisions and stay with my decisions. Of course, and sometimes you have to change your direction based off of the environment, but the goal is the same.
If somebody comes up to you and says that, okay, I had this wonderful idea, I started it as a business, and I did what I had to do, but it didn't work out after 2 years, 3 years, and I had to take a practical decision. What would you give as an advice or share with that person who has kind of given up? Which is a reality in today's day and age.
I learned a long time ago that ego can be a really detrimental thing for you. And I have lost opportunity, and I've lost business, and I've lost money because I my ego, I went into different kinds of businesses that I had no business being involved, but they were high profile and it feeded my ego. And I can tell you, every single time I've done that, I've lost money. But when I focus on the businesses that I know very well, and I'm just doing my business, not trying to create a name for myself or earn gigantic money instantly, overnight success. I always do good and I always make money. This is even my business now. My business now, it's a project that I've been working on for 15 years. 15 years. And the product is just now going to market. And I've invested huge money into it, millions of dollars into it, thinking it would be a 5 or 7 year period of time to develop the product and then the market would be ready. But I was completely wrong. Completely wrong. And now where I'm at 15 years, and now the market is ready for the product. So I've almost died multiple times over the last several years. But I didn't give up, and I've hung on, and to the point where I have large investors that are investing into my project, and we're launching a product that is a national, it's a national product. It's a national security kind of a product, and we're dealing with multiple governments around the world that refused to look at or talk to me a few years ago, but now they're contacting us because they want what we're doing.
Great.
So this is the sustainability. I have had in my heart and in my mind that the product would be a good product, but I should have died a long time ago. But I didn't give up. As a matter of fact, some of my friends recently, before I landed the investors I have in the government clients I have, some of my friends told me, Michael, you've been doing this project for more than 13, 14 years. Everybody knows you're dead except you. And I just refuse. Yeah. I refuse to accept that. And it's paid off. Most businesses fail. Because of people either giving up or internal strife. That they start a company and then they have infighting. Very rare is a business failure because of competition. For me, I would say analyze why you're giving up. And try to find a way to solve that one problem. If it's lack of capital, continue fighting. Okay, you may get a job. Even me in my history, I've taken other jobs for income while I work on my core business. But I never give up on my core business or my core concept. So, if you believe in what you're doing, and you have to believe it. You have to really believe in your heart that it's you love this business. You're willing to do anything you can to get this business launched. If you have this kind of attitude, don't give up. Don't give up. Even you fall down, stand up, find another way to approach it, and continue. Because that's how you make your dreams come true. That's how you make businesses become reality.
What also I feel is, when you face failure also teaches you a lot. And when you actually give up on whatever you have learned through that failure and don't use it back again in your life, then you have missed opportunity. That's
for sure. For sure. Failure. Almost all businesses that are successful have failed multiple times. In multiple attempts, and through those failures, you learn something. If you don't learn something, then of course you will end up giving up. But if you always try to reflect and analyze, you can always make a failure into a success.
Thank you very much for walking with us and crossing this thin line together. and sharing your experiences of how you crossed your thin line multiple times. Sometimes we cross our thin line in our mind very silently, where people don't know that we are actually crossing our thin line.
Yes.
And sometimes it's very evident for people to see it. So thank you very much for sharing your life, your experiences.
My pleasure. And congratulations. The thin line is a super topic to bring up for business people because, and I've never thought of it before, because it is just a decision and it is a very thin line. So congratulations also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.